Welcome to the Pyramyd Insider. I'm Tyler Patner. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Hatsan Nova and 25 caliber. So the Nova is one of the newer offerings from Hatsan here in the US. This is the 25 caliber, also available in 177 and 22. In the 25, they're claiming about 46 foot-pounds of energy and about 88 shots per fill. Now, this is a 500cc air cylinder, a lot of air capacity, and it does fill the 250 bar, but 88 shots is quite a lot. So obviously, we're going to get this on the chronograph because I am very eager to see if it's going to hit that mark. One way to find out, though, guys, but let's check out some of the specs on the gun. Up front is Hatsan's QE technology, that's quiet energy. See it on pretty much all of their guns now. 23-inch barrel under here, and then you have the moderator suppressor, if you will, setting off the rest of the gun, and it is baffled inside of this chamber here. Very quiet gun for the type of energy we're talking about, 40 plus 50 almost foot-pounds. It is pretty darn quiet. I'd say, 1-2 area in terms of loudness. We'll put it on the sound meter for you guys as well. Moving back, we do have a 500cc aluminum cylinder on this gun. Not removable, you don't need to remove it. Fills via the hole right here and does come with a probe that is threaded to 1/8 BSPP, which is pretty standard. All the Hatsan guns use the same probe here. We got ours with a quick disconnect, so we can just hook it right up to our hose and fill. And as I said, this does fill the 250 bar, so it is a little bit higher than most of the other Hatsan guns as well. And you'll notice we have a bipod on this gun as well. The gun does come standard with a Weaver Picatinny rail on the bottom. It is plastic, so any metal bipod you're going to mount on it, it's probably going to have a little bit of give in that rail. So just make sure you got it tight down very securely. And obviously this one flips forward. Just got it here for the stand. We'll put it on the bags though when we test it. And you also do have some swivel studs as well in the front and the back of the rifle to mount a sling as well. So you don't have to pick between a sling or a bipod. You can do both with this gun. Also on the underside of the stock, we do have our gauge here. So you got the colors displayed there. It's a 250 bar fill gun, so about 3,600 PSI. Most guns are going to go to about 3,000 in the Hatsan line. This is one of the ones that goes higher. And with that bottle, that's why you're getting that higher shot count that they're claiming. So obviously we're going to put it to the test, but 250 bar, make note of that. And real quick, just to show you, the gun actually does come with a fill port protector, which I think is a real nice feature here from Hatsan. I'm just going to take the probe and push it on through, but you can see it comes with this little protector so that when your fill probe is not in the gun, you're not getting any dust or debris into that probe area, which is a very nice add-on from Hatsan. So on top of the breech block here, we do have what is very common on the Hatsan guns. It's a split rail, and what I mean by that is that you have an 11mm mounting option for the dovetail and then a Weaver mounting option. Because it's not standard Weaver spacing though, I would recommend going with the dovetail setup. It's going to give you more freedom to set the scope to the proper eye relief for you. So the Nova, like a lot of the other Hatsan PCPs, is a side lever. Like it a lot. It's not very fancy or anything. It doesn't look very sleek, but it works. It's very functional. Side lever just comes back like that, straight back into the cocked position, and you will know you also have an automatic safety, as you find on most of the Hatsan guns. I'm not a huge fan of the automatic safeties on PCPs. That said, it's located in a place that when you do shoulder it, you just flick it off. It's not very difficult. And our magazines are the standard Hatsan mags. Now, these are 9-round magazines, and the gun comes with 3 of them. So that's a lot of shots right out of the box. And Hatsan knew, with the extended shot count of the large bottle on here and the higher fill pressure, you're going to need a bunch of mags. So they just went ahead and gave them to you. Now, to load these magazines, very simple. You see you have this little catch lever here. You're just going to pull it back and lock it into that upward position. Throw your mag in there, and then you just flip it down, and once it's positioned right, this will snap back into place holding it. You may have to rotate the mag just a little bit to cycle it to that next position so you can get that bolt back through, but very easy to load, simple mechanism. Once you do it once, you'll never forget it. The Nova does feature Hatsan's Quattro trigger, very crisp, clean let off on this trigger. And it is adjustable, so I mean you can work with it to get it set up for you. I think as a hunting trigger, this is actually one of the better triggers on the PCP market. So picking the gun up here, you'll notice obviously Turkish walnut stock. You do have some nice checkering on the grip and the fore end of the stock. It's very fine though, it's not giving you too much feedback tactile wise, and a raised cheek piece, adjustable butt pad. It's got all the hallmarks of a comfortable gun here. Let's get out to the range, see how she does. Let's go shoot. All right, guys, so we went through about 6-7 different pellets in 25 here. Ended up going through all JSBs just purely because they shot the best. The Kings, the 25-4s, they did pretty well, not great. You know, 6 of those 9 shots are in within about 3/4 of an inch. So I think it's going to be gun to gun in terms of which King it likes best. But obviously the Mark II heavies, whoa, 1/2 inch. I mean, this is by far the pellet to go with in the Nova, or in this Nova in particular. I think you get a lot of reasonable groups, and obviously the big surprise I think for myself and probably most of you guys as well are these Predator GTOs. I've been trying these in a lot of guns lately, and they did quite well in the Nova. About an inch group there for 9 shots. It's pretty damn good. You don't get a whole lot better than that. Obviously the King Heavies just blew everything else out of the water, so we're going to use those for the chronograph testing, see how many shots we get, and then we'll do it for the sound testing as well. So looking over our chronograph numbers here, now you notice we started shot 30 and 220 bar here on this graph. That's because when we filled it to 250 bar, the velocity was right around 650 feet per second or so, and it actually came up into that 700 range. So really those first 30 shots are pretty useless in my opinion. But as you go, that's when you start to see things even out. And as you guys can see, we got a 92 shot sweet spot, pretty much between 725 and 750. Those 92 shots are super consistent. Now, Hatsan obviously rates this with 88 shots, but we're getting 92 in the sweet spot, 140 total from 220 down to 100 bar, and that's within 50 feet per second. For an unregulated gun, super impressive. Only 93.7 decibels, 93, 94 decibels. That's pretty darn quiet. This gun is definitely backyard friendly. Well guys, the Hatsan Nova, you saw it on the range, performed very well. This isn't my grocery list, this is the shot string. I mean, this is ridiculous. Over 140 shots on this thing within 50 feet per second, which is like 7 or 8% variation from the high velocity. This is obscene. Like, I'm stunned by this. Hatsan blew away even their own claims on this one. So very impressive there. Obviously, accuracy 1/2 inch. This gun's got a little bit of everything. It's not the most powerful in the Hatsan lineup, but you feed it the right pellets, and 42 foot-pounds in 25 caliber is going to be more than enough for almost anything you're going to do. Definitely check it out. My only gripes with this one though, length and the weight are just, it's a bulky gun, so know that going in. Certainly got the performance to back it up, and well worth it, you know, for that kind of middle of the road price point. And this Leapers UTG bubble leveler scope, I'd also check that one out. That little bubble level inside makes it really helpful for making sure you're aligned and you're not canting the rifle every shot. Overall, I think this setup as a whole, if I was going to be shooting maybe a little bit longer range or going after game from a fixed position, this would definitely be on my list of considerations. But for the Pyramyd Insider, I'm Tyler Patner. We'll see you at the next one.